The breakthrough is coming. The breakthrough that you've been waiting for so long is coming. I promise wherever you're at right now, it's not too far away. I know this because we all go through these storms. We all go through these phases where it really does feel impossible that we're going to get out of that storm that we're in. But reality is, where we are right now is necessary for what is to come. And the storm that you're going through right now is exactly where you need to be for what is to come. And this is why you shouldn't really worry about when the breakthrough will come or worry about why this is happening right now, because ultimately this is necessary for who you're supposed to become and for what is to come later. I like to think that God's preparing me when I go through these phases. Maybe he's preparing you for something that is to come. I feel like the times whenever you can't really see it, the times when you can't see the outcome or see the breakthrough, that's usually whenever you start to let go of it. And when you can start to let go of the outcome, it usually happens right around the corner. It's usually right around the corner. And maybe this is where you're at right now. Maybe you're in this phase, this storm where you're struggling. You know, it's hard to see the good in what is to come. I'm going to read you a verse to help kind of maybe explain where you are right now and why it's okay, why it's absolutely necessary for you to be where you are right now. And it comes straight out of the book of Philippians. All right, Paul is in jail. Paul is literally in jail writing to the Philippian church. And he doesn't really have much. But he's telling us that we have everything to be content for with where we are. And if he's sitting here in jail, why can't we feel the same way, right? At least that's what I thought. So you go to Philippians chapter 4, verse 11. He says, verse 10, he says, I rejoice in the Lord greatly now at length that you've revived your concern for me. You were indeed concerned for me, but you had no opportunity. Not that I'm speaking of being in need, for I have learned in whatever situation I am to be content. I know how to be brought low. I know how to abound in any and every circumstance. I've learned the secret of facing plenty and hunger, abundance and need. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. There's that verse. There's that famous verse you see tattooed on everybody. It's a great verse, though, because it allows us to understand that we are where we are for a reason. And while it almost seems impossible for that breakthrough to come, while it almost seems like there's no hope for us in the end, we know that we can do all things. We can have the strength through Christ because he gives us strength. And he says, verse 11, in whatever situation I am, to be content. So why should we be content? Why should we be content with where we are? Well, if we're not content, if we're never content with where we are, why should we expect to have what we want so bad? If we can learn to be content without it, then and only then will we be able to acquire what we want, what we might want, or what is to come. And this is why I think those breakthroughs happen whenever we let go of things, whenever we let go of the idea of chasing something or wanting something so much. We can just give it up to God. We can give the outcome up to him. He'll show us when we're ready. But maybe what we're going through right now is so that he can prepare us. And the thing about these storms is that while it might seem like it's impossible for us to get through them, while we might not have the strength to fight the battles that we face, God is in the storm with us. He sent his son Jesus to go through the storms with us. There's a story in the book of Daniel where Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego get thrown into the fiery furnace. And King Nebuchadnezzar, he commands them to get thrown into the furnace to kill them for standing up in their faith. But then he sees in the furnace that they are not dead. Not only are they not dead, but there's someone else in there with them. There's someone else in the furnace with them, in the storm with them, and it's Jesus. This shows us that maybe we're in that fiery furnace. Maybe we're getting put in some place that we don't want to be put in. It makes us uncomfortable. But the thing about it is that there's nothing that we can't overcome. Because who's with us in those storms? Jesus. He's with us all the way. And this is why we can be content. This is why we should be content. We already have all that we need. I mean, I can't think about the amount of times where I compare myself to other people, the things that they have, and it's so easy for me to feel like I don't have what I need, or I don't have enough. And then immediately, I'm not content. I get frustrated by not having the things that I feel like I need, or not being in a place where I'm comfortable with or I'm satisfied. But ultimately, that feeling comes from just simply comparing myself to other people. And this world we live in today, it's so easy to do that. It is so easy to compare yourself to people on social media. It's almost like the image of an ideal man or woman has to have a certain status, has to have a certain amount of money, certain fame. And it's putting this entitlement on the things of this world ultimately. And whenever that's what we see, that's what we've been programmed to see as, this is successful, this is a good man. That's what we're going to compare ourselves to. But in reality, it's nothing of those things. Being a good man doesn't mean you need to have all the money, the biggest muscles. I used to be a freaking gym addict for so long just because I wanted to look the best. I saw all these people online, all these bodybuilders, and I'm like, I want to look like that. Just to find out that you get no girls. But hey, that's not the point. That's not the point. But I've realized is that, I'm never truly going to be satisfied if that's what I'm chasing. That's the thing about the things of this world. When you chase the things of this world, you will never be satisfied. So that's the first thing you have to consider. And number two, consider Jesus. Who was Jesus? He was a carpenter. He didn't come with fancy swords or fancy gold or fancy garments. He came with a towel, and he came to serve the people around him. He humbled himself to the point of death on a cross. That should tell us all that we need to know to think about what a good man might look like. So what truly is a good man? Ask yourself that. Think about consider Jesus and ask yourself, what is a good man? Because he was a perfect man. So why am I comparing myself to all these people that claim to be a G, the best man, when reality is that's not at all what it takes to be a good man? And this is who we're comparing ourselves to. And I think that's the main reason why I'm not content sometimes. But when I can understand what my identity comes from, what my identity is in, I've learned to be content. And I think this is what we need to focus on during these storms, is that our God is almighty. Our God is great. What can't we overcome with him in the storms with us? Whenever you can learn to truly just be content with the storm that you're going through, because you know that it's necessary for what is to come, I think that's whenever the breakthrough happens. I think, maybe it's not exactly something that you expect to happen in the breakthrough, but maybe you're learning things that's going to help you in the future. And maybe that's just as important as whatever breakthrough you're expecting. But I don't think that'll ever happen until you can truly just learn to let go and be content. And it's hard to do sometimes. This world we live in, it's always go, 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 chase, 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 and it's always filled with comparison. And that's why you got to let go of the ways of the world. You got to just look to God. Consider Jesus. And that's the biggest thing I've learned in when I'm going through these struggles, when I'm going through these hard times, is that I can't do it on my own, but Jesus is in the storm with me. And that's what allows me to get through. That's what allows me to be content where I'm at, because I know that he's doing this for a reason. He's doing this for a specific purpose, specifically made for you and for me. Because we're made uniquely in his image, and he's got a plan for every single one of us, a special plan for every single one of us. So that's a thing to leave y'all with, I would say, is think about all that you have to be content for. Truly just think about it. You might be like, oh, well, I have nothing to be content for. I promise you there's something. There's at least one thing, and that's Jesus. But above that, there's so many things that we can be content for, that we overlook every single day. There's people on the other side of the world, depending on where you are. I'm in America. But there's people, all over the world that have way less than we have. And they would beg to be in our position. Like, I don't think about that enough. But when I do, it really puts into perspective. Like, I'm sitting here griping, complaining about what? I've got all that I need. And I'm blessed. Like, my cup overflows. And I'm sitting here acting like I don't have enough. When there's people that literally have nothing. There's people that literally have nothing. It's a sad thought, but it's the truth. And I think when you can think about that, sorry, you can really put it into perspective. But that's my final thought to leave with you all. Just know that you have everything to be content for, and that this breakthrough is coming, and it's a lot closer. It's a lot sooner than you think. Just keep faith in God that He'll provide, because He does always. He always provides. But that's all I got for this video. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one.